And it's Monday, y'all. And I hope everybody had a great weekend. And you know what's next. My main man, Jersey Fred. Jersey Fred, what is popping, my man?
You see the lid?
I see the lid, brother. You are looking good in the old English D. How you feel sporting that bad boy?
It's okay. I mean, I didn't take all the stickers off so I can bring it back, but you know.
Oh, you're returning it after this. You know we
No.
have another couple series, right?
No. I'm gonna hold on to it.
Right.
I
right,
like
right,
it.
right.
I like it. It's a
All
nice
right.
hat.
I know
So
your family is. I know your Michigan family's proud of you right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I'm still
for the first time ever.
Yes, I'm still trying to break that.
And as always, Fred's brought to us by Ombrage, luxury without the splurge. Promo code Your Agent Brad gets you a little discount, and then get those new blinds. And let's just get rolling right into it. Fred, the pet, the bet. Fred is a man of his word, rocking his old English D hat. I love it, Fred. Where'd you go? Did you go to a local? Obviously, they have Detroit hats all over Jersey, so just you didn't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I'm inundated with Detroit D hats around here, so I went on every corner.
Right. It makes sense for sure. But we'll talk a little bit about baseball.
I went to Canal Street and got a knockoff.
Oh, this is a knockoff.
No, it's the real one.
It says Hanes underneath it or something like that, like they do at those local party stores. But we're going to talk about baseball. Obviously, first and foremost, what a weekend of golf it was. The greatest golf tournament, and I don't think it let us down at all this weekend. And, second to the Ryder Cup when it's in the U.S., because when the Ryder Cup's in Europe, watching it at like 3:00 in the morning, and it's a little weird. But I guess first off, Fred, what was your take on the Masters this weekend? Were you happy for Rory? Were you rooting against him? I know there's a lot of Rory haters out there, my wife being number one. I think my wife is like the president of the Rory hater club.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like I will say this. I was a bigger fan when he was dating Wozniak, the tennis cow.
Right.
But I'm not a hater, but he definitely it was almost as if he was trying to lose yesterday.
Right.
So maybe it was the nerves and the last round of the tournament and stuff like that maybe was getting to him on that second half on the back.
What about the first half? The first two holes?
Yeah, but he was still, when he got to 9, he was still up like 3 strokes.
Right.
So,
right. But got in the hole real quick.
Yeah. But he got. Go ahead.
Let's go back to Saturday first, right? Like, well, we can even go to Thursday or Friday. Like, he struggled the first day, played well the second day. Saturday was insane. In fact, I was at Carl's hitting golf balls and watching it because I wanted to be home in time, but I kind of missed it. And I'm listening to it while I'm hitting balls at Carl's, and I'm just like, this dude is in fuego, man. Like, insane the way he started out on Saturday. Yeah. And he kind of leveled out later in the day, but like, just starting out like that was just phenomenal. And that, right then and there, you're like, okay. I mean, I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, Fred, but I'm almost positive you and I said this is his year.
Yeah, that was back in February, I believe.
Right.
And this completes the Grand Slam for him. But yeah, I mean, Sunday looked like he was cruising, and then and your boy Bryson, I mean, folded like a lawn chair.
And I was so amped after Saturday when he hit that putt on 18. I'm like, oh my God, he gets in the final group. These two are just going to go head to head. Jacked, the whole excited for Sunday. And then, when I don't know if you notice this now, I have golf friends who I golf with. Okay. Then I have real golfer friends. And those are the guys I went to college with at Ferris. Like, those are guys that play in tournaments who are like plus handicaps. And so, like, a different group of golfers, we'll say.
Yeah.
When when Bryson hit his tee shot on one, he obviously sprayed it to the left. Rory had went first, right? And he hit the sand. But like the way he walked down away from the tee box, he points left. Now I know that it is a like, you know, that's what they do. But there was something in my real golf group. They're like, Brad, you're a moron. That's just what they do. They're, you know, they give him heads up. I just thought there was a little swagger to him coming off that first tee, like talking shit to Bryson, like, you're over there, bro. Like, that's the vibe I got. Now, I understand that a lot of golfers do that. But right then and there, I was like, oh, these two are going to be like jawing back and forth.
Yeah. And, you know, as I was watching yesterday, and like I've told you this in the past, like for golf to like really get exciting and stuff like that, we need something. I think we need a golf beef.
Oh, 100%. And in fact, I will go as far as I say, I think they need to be mic'd up just like they do in the matches. Like, I want to hear them go back and forth. Now, I don't know if you caught this, but after DeChambeau basically flat out said Rory didn't say one word to him at all on Sunday. They did not talk at all.
That's fine. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I would, because I would rather people talking shit than not talking at all.
Rather people talking shit. Yeah, for sure.
So,
absolutely.
So for him not to say anything, I think Rory in the back of his mind was thinking about choking. Like, I think it kind of, that's why he wasn't saying anything. I don't think he was talking to anybody. And that's why in the second nine, in the back nine, it finally started to get to him.
Yeah. And he kind of unraveled, and like, you know, slow and steady was Justin Rose this entire weekend.
Yeah.
Just coming up, which I'm a big Justin Rose fan. Like, how can you not like him? He's a good dude. I always thought he was old, and then I realized he was 45, and then I wasn't sure. Maybe he's not old, but maybe I'm old. I don't know. That was a hard one. I didn't realize he was 45. I thought he was older than me.
Wow.
You know,
getting up there. Yeah, no. I mean, he played good. He played the game that he needed to play.
Right. And I just, you know, it's slow and steady kind of burned him in. And then, you know, Bryson just folded, like you said, folding like a lawn chair, man. That was a little, I would say that was probably the biggest letdown of the tournament, is I thought these two were going to go at it, and it was going to be, especially the way it started. Like, you know, they evened up right after 2 holes. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be epic.
Yeah. Yes. And like at one point, now Bryson did, I think he ended up finishing stronger than at one point he was like at 6 under. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. I think he shot a 75.
Yeah.
And I think Rory shot a 73.
Was he one on over?
Yeah, something. I think so. And then, you know, a lot of people were talking on, you know, if you follow any social media, X, whatever it is, like, how can you say this was like a great golf tournament when they shot what they shot? Like, I don't think that really comes into play, in my opinion. It's a head-to-head thing, or it's a you versus the field thing. So however that field unfolds is how that tournament's going to be, right? You know?
Well, it's also not easy to score at the Masters. I mean, it's I don't think, like, come on.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. The course is insane. I mean, there's so many like crazy, like as I'm watching on Sunday, there's so many things I was like looking up, and there's like a lot of things I didn't know. Like, did you know that the winner gets the green jacket and he keeps it for a year, and then he has to bring it back the following year, and those jackets are never to be worn off property?
I did know something like that. So that's the reason with the no phones and stuff. Everything, they own the Masters. So when you're on the property, that's why you can't have a camera or anything, because you would have to then turn it over, because it's basically private property and you're not allowed. They own everything there, you know.
Another thing I learned this weekend is the champions have their own practice range. Like,
that's cool.
And a lot. Well, I knew about the locker room. The locker room. So, like, you got to imagine somebody of Rory's caliber being told that he cannot do something.
Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine like, no, guy, you're over there, or you can't go in this locker room. 11 years they've been telling him no. And he finally gets to, I saw a video of him walking in the locker room, which was pretty cool. But there's so many cool, maybe weird, like rules and facts about Augusta that is just insane.
I did read some rules.
How about my boy Nick Dunlap? Are you familiar with that name?
No.
He's the guy that put up 90 on Thursday.
Okay.
That's a tough one to swallow, but he came back and I think he shot a 71 on Friday. But
didn't make the cut.
What do you think? What do you think you would shoot at Augusta?
Are we going with the tips?
We'll go member tee, because apparently there's which I don't know what that yardage is, but there's what they play at as pros. Then there's member tees. I think that's like the only two tees. I don't even think they have women's tees or forward tees.
There's no women allowed. So, I think I would shoot around a 115.
115.
Yeah.
Fred,
105 to 115. I think I can get.
Dude, I would shoot 150 plus.
Really?
Dude,
I think
it looks impossible. And I was told, shout out to my boy Sergio, who went to a practice round a couple years ago, and I don't really know many people that have been to the Masters. His take was this course, the TV does this course no justice. Like when you see it in person, it's a different experience, and the elevation of the fairways, the undulation of the greens. It's a bucket list for sure. Bucket list situation. I would love to go.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a practice round, whatever, just to be there.
You can go on a Tuesday, can't you?
I think so. Yeah. Well, you can go.
Isn't that the practice round that the public's allowed to go to?
I think you can go. I think you can go Tuesday or Wednesday. No, I don't think it's just public. No. You have to have an invite.
Well, it's like a lottery as well.
Yeah, lottery. Yeah. Hence the invite. But it's just. I mean, it's an experience that I would love to be there.
Yeah, I have one buddy. He was in my foursome. He ended up going. He went.
What was his take? What did he say about it?
He's a big golfer guy. He said it was Disney World. He couldn't stop looking around.
How much you think he would drop at the pro shop?
He dropped 800. Yeah.
That's a reasonable amount. I've heard in the thousands, because I heard FedEx is like at the end of the line when you just package up your stuff and they ship it right to you.
Ship it right out. Yeah. He drove
from Jersey.
He drove and then drove back the next day, I believe. So he didn't, but he said he couldn't stop looking around. Like everything, he just couldn't stop. There was not enough things to look at. And that's why he said it's like Disney. You can't just go one day and see everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sense. On a side note, I was listening to the Metro Detroit Golfers podcast over the weekend. And, for those of you who are not familiar with Metro Detroit Golfers, like them, follow them on YouTube. I posted a picture of my new hat that says Detroit Golf on there. Fred, I got to get you one of those. And that's I'm going to drop a link to get that hat in our comments below. But those guys are talking. So apparently, and this is a different source, but they're just kind of relaying it, Jim Nantz has announced his retirement, which is crazy. But it is in 2036 as when he will retire. That will be the 50th year of him calling the Masters and the 100th year of the Masters tournament. What do you think the Masters would be like without Jim Nantz?
I think it'll be fine. I mean, I love Jim Nantz.
How can you not?
But it's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop. Right.
The show goes on.
Yeah, but he's just. I mean, my entire life, he
True.
has been
Yeah.
calling this that. But yeah, I figure it's funny. So they made a joke. They're like, well, okay, is Augusta going to give him a gift every year? You know what I mean? Is this an 11-year retirement run? And will they give him an honorary membership to Augusta? Which I feel they should.
Yeah. I mean, I feel they should. I'm not sure they give those out at all.
Right. Like I said. No. But
It's not easy to get in.
What's that?
It's not easy to get in.
It's not easy to get in. But man, it would be something. You know who celebrated a birthday yesterday? Speaking of yesterday,
Who's that?
MCDC. Boy, Big Dan Campbell celebrated his 49th birthday yesterday.
Is that mediocrity city Dan Campbell?
Motor City Dan Campbell,
there,
Fred. And speaking of mediocrity, has Aaron Rodgers committed to the Steelers yet, or what's the rumor with that?
Care.
Is he still on peyote? What's the deal?
I don't care. He's not even on my radar.
Oh, so you're the only Steeler fan that doesn't care about the Aaron Rodgers situation?
No, we're getting Shador.
What number pick do you have?
They're trading up for Shador.
Okay, take me through that. This isn't something we have on the show notes. We're just going to go.
The only thing I'm not crazy about is it may involve a TJ Watt to get the pick. So that I'm not crazy about that part of it. But yeah, trading up, getting Shador.
If they do get Shador, are you excited about it?
Yeah, that would be cool. Listen, I'm done. I don't give a fuck about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Like, I don't think, and there's a lot of people out there that really don't. I follow a lot of Steeler Nation people. No one really gives a fuck about. I know you just said I was the only Steeler who doesn't care. That's not true. If you follow Steelers Nation and stuff like that, like nobody really gives a fuck about Aaron Rodgers, especially right now.
When I say that, I'm saying that because I'm saying it more along the lines, well, is he going to come? Is he going to come? Is he not going to come? Not the fact that they're like, oh, we need Aaron Rodgers.
No.
It's the fact that they're enthralled in the drama of the Aaron Rodgers story possibly going to Pittsburgh.
I think that everyone's over that, and they're already talking like Jackson Dart or Shador. So, like, I don't think I know they're giving him they gave him like a soft deadline. Now I think it's getting to be a little more of a harder deadline. But dude, tell him to go fuck himself, to be honest, for all I care. Like, I don't give a fuck about him. But it would be nice for a Shador or something like that. But like, I'm not crazy about giving up TJ Watt in the process.
Yeah, that's a big sacrifice for sure. But as we all know, this league runs around quarterbacks. Yeah. And to throw, and I mean, I'm not fully convinced that he's going to be a great NFL quarterback just yet. It's so hard. It's such a big transition. And and to be honest with you, you talk to a lot of guys, older guys, right? Like older quarterbacks like Tom Brady and guys like that and Peyton Manning. And they say that college football doesn't prepare these quarterbacks the way they used to. Obviously, it has a lot to do with transfer portal, not being at the same place all the time, different coordinators. They don't get the time to develop. So I don't know if it's just me, but I always have like this in the back of my head thinking, well, this is like, it's going to be a big step. I don't see them making that big of an impact right out the gate.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that can do it.
Right. But I don't believe.
But that's why Shador's stock is going down too, though, I think.
Right.
It's not
makes sense.
Like, I mean, everyone was talking about him being the number one pick before last season started. Like, and now it's like, oh, you can get him a little later, so, I mean, I think Cam's going, I mean, I think Cam can make an impact early. But like that's about it.
Right. And that's coming up here. I think we have like 2-3 more weeks, end of April, right? April 24th. Does that sound familiar? Something like that for the NFL draft?
the end of the week, the Friday after, like, or Thursday after Easter. So 21, 2, 3, the fourth, 5th.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Speaking of the draft, though, real quick, let me
Yeah.
slip this in. Tonight, WNBA draft. Just something to put on. I just want to say this, and then you can get on with your notes. The winner of today's draft is going to be Washington. They have 3 picks in the top 6. Watch out for the Washington Mystics next year.
I was just going to ask you what the team name of Washington was. So, with that being said, who is the number 1 pick tonight in the WNBA draft?
Mrs. Buckets.
Juju's not coming out?
No, so it's the rules in WNBA are a little different. She has to be 22.
Oh, you did text me that. We were talking about, in fact, you were correcting what we had said on the podcast last time. Okay, refresh my memory. I know you texted me about it. What is the WNBA draft rules? You
got to be 22. Yeah.
Okay.
So that kind of like throws a little wrench in it, which is kind of weird because it's like, listen, if you're going to do that, then do that for the men too. Because like, why would you hold someone in women's basketball back from going pro? Like, why is that okay?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the women make more money in NIL money than they do in the WNBA. So it's almost for the females to stay in.
Yeah. Of course they make more money in the NIL, but you're still getting this past season and stuff. Yes, Caitlin Clark's she's making more money now than she was in college because of all the deals she's getting. So like, you're still going to get endorsements and you're still going to get, all that shit. But like, it just makes zero sense that you're going to, a woman has to be 22 to enter the draft and a guy can basically enter the draft out of high school.
So in the NBA draft, you can still come from high school to.
Well, if you were foreign, I mean, overseas, it's like, what is it? 20? Do you have to be 20?
Yeah. Why did I think that they had to? Those rules have changed in the men's college basketball, that you had to play for a year or two. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but I think you have to be 20. So most of the kids who play 1 year, they reclass, so they start at 19, and the next year they're 20.
Gotcha. Well,
but yes, Paige goes number 1, obviously.
Paige goes number 1. Okay.
Dallas.
Yeah, if Juju's not in it, I guess I'm going to have to go with you on that one.
Yeah.
Bucket in there. She's going to the Washington Mystics.
No, she's going to go to Dallas, but Washington has the number 3, 4, and 6 pick.
Well, I'm sure Dallas is happy. They get a superstar back because they lost one recently.
Yeah.
But speaking of NIL money, there was a story that popped up this weekend, and I think it's absolutely absurd what's going on in Tennessee with this Nico. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. The Tennessee Vols quarterback who held out training camp or spring game, and he's trying to renegotiate his deal. Now, don't get me wrong. His dad came out and said that was a rumor. It didn't happen, but he wasn't there. So I don't believe that to be the fact. And Coach Hipple said, look, we don't negotiate with kids in their contract. And I also saw that he's asking for more money than Brock Purdy has made in his entire career, which I thought was funny. But what's your take on that? Like, is this just another leg of NIL getting out of hand?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of time because, like, they are negotiating, though. This isn't like something new either. So, like, I mean, the kid from Georgia, who's going to the U now. I mean, he left to go to the U to get paid 4.5. Your guy in Michigan basically negotiated, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think you're missing what I think what he's saying is we don't negotiate after we've already have a
True.
deal
Now
in
he was
place.
supposed to. Apparently, his deal was for $2 million a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Now I'll tell you this much. I actually had the pleasure of going to my first ever SEC game to watch Tennessee play Florida. And I'm sitting which is a different atmosphere in itself. It's highly recommended. If you've never been to an SEC football game, I'm telling you, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. But I'm sitting next to a bunch of Vols fans, and Nico's playing, and they were pissed they were paying $2 million for him.
was it early in the year?
Very well. Yeah. I want to say it was maybe mid season. I think when they played Florida, I forget off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a stud. I think 2 million is a little low, to be honest. Like I said, Carson Beck's getting 4.5. I mean, and is Carson Beck legit? Yes, he is. He's got a lot of tenure.
Right.
So that helps. But 2 million now is not a lot. That's the thing. That's
Right.
what happened. 2 million is not a lot. And like you said, this is a game of this, the money goes to the quarterbacks, right? And, if that's the case, then 2 million is really not a lot of money.
Right.
Now, granted, I am a man of my word. So I've always had a problem with contracts. So I don't understand the whole renegotiate thing. You signed it. I didn't sign it. Like, if you thought that you may have a chance to renegotiate one day or what have you, have an opt-out in your contract.
Right.
That
makes sense.
But do not sign something that says, I'll play for 4 years, and then after 1 year say, you know what? I think I'm undervalued now. I don't know. You signed it. I didn't sign it. I think you're undervalued too, but you signed the fucking thing.
Right.
Like this is a business here. Like just as much as it's a business for the athlete, it's also a business for the school. I mean, obviously, it's $1 trillion operation that they're running, but don't you think that like they want to get the best deal for themselves as well?
For sure. Absolutely. They want to free up as much money as they possibly can.
And that's what I was talking about. I feel like we were talking about this maybe a couple months ago, where I said it doesn't matter that Juan Soto signs with the Mets. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. So
you did bring that up, because it's like, what do the contracts mean if we're constantly going to renegotiate them every year? They mean nothing.
Oh, and not even renegotiating, demanding a trade, sitting out. Like what does it? So what does it mean that Soto signed for $750 for 25 years? Who cares? After 2 years, he could be like, I'm out of here. And the thing is, it's the guaranteed money part. When it's not guaranteed money, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sit out. You're not getting paid. Like that
Which
would be
it should be.
Yeah, but not now that it's like. Anything goes, really. Honestly, and anything goes. Contracts don't mean shit. Contracts mean you're going to be there for that year.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're going to be there after that, because I mean, you see all these guys demanding trades. So now, like, that's the other thing now. It's demanding trades. It's not even the team saying, yo, we're going to try to float them around, which I thought was fucked up too, because if you're going to be serious on one side of the contract, you have to be serious on the other. So
it goes both ways.
Yes, it goes both ways. But now it's more of a demanding trade. So these guys just are saying, yeah, I'm done here. Now somebody else has to pick up that contract, but you signed a contract to play for me for 4 years.
All right. Well, I read somewhere over the weekend that there was, I forget what coach it was, but another college coach, man, I can't remember the name of it, but he went to the Tennessee coach and told them that Nico was sniffing around for a new deal. And that's how they kind of caught wind of it or something like that. So it was like a coach looking out for another coach.
Yeah. or trying to fucking spoil something.
Good point. What's funny is I did see something too where it was like a side-by-side picture on X with Peyton Manning and Arch Manning being like, oh, maybe he could step in and go to Tennessee, which I think would be a pretty cool story if
that would be
awesome. Goes there and plays. Yeah. I know Tennessee would love it. That's for damn sure. I mean, you go to Tennessee, there's still a shrine of Peyton Manning there. Like,
definitely,
it's insane what they think of him down there. It's insane. Let's move right into baseball, right? Fred's excited, wearing the Old English D, not by choice. Tigers win another series. We take down the Twins.
Tigers won 8-10.
Nice little thing. I know you saw something in the show notes that I sent you last night about a possible AL MVP.
Listen, I'm a big Torque guy. The problem with the Tigers were he almost didn't make the club.
I know. That's crazy.
Well, and like, the Cody Keith thing, like putting Cody at first and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't believe that they were really giving up on Torque. And so I'm so glad that he's doing well.
Yeah.
I did hear some things that I didn't like to hear. Rumor wise about my boy Glaber Day.
Glaber Day.
About him possibly getting tossed around now because like with Verling, when Verling is healthy, right?
Which we're weeks away, correct? Apparently last week he was signed or he was good to throw, which is nice.
So once Verling's back, then what does the lineup look like? Like they're gonna play Trey Sweeney at short. Where does Baez go? Where does Torres go? They were talking about DHing Verling and asking Torres to move to third and have Baez at second. These are in the rumor mill. Now, the reason he wanted out of the Yanks or was upset is when we got Jazz, he wouldn't move to third.
Right.
So it's interesting to see how that's going to shake out because he wants to be a second baseman. Now, my thing is, to be honest, you DH Verling and you put Baez at third. Baez's glove is just ridiculous. It's one of the best gloves in the whole league.
What's Baez? How's Baez hitting?
He always hits terrible.
Why is it just it's a constant struggle with him, man? I don't get it.
Well, he's El Mago. El Mago is magician in Spanish. That's what, because his glove is ridiculous.
Yeah, but we've talked about that numerous times.
So, like, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes up when Verling's back. But, like, I mean, they're playing good. They're in a great position and a great division to do well in.
Right, they are.
And we're gonna try to help you guys out because we have a series against KC right now.
Just beat them down. Beat them down. I see. Was it KC that beat Cleveland? I know. A shout out to my boy Josh, who's a big Cleveland fan. He went down on Sunday, brought his family down there, and unfortunately, it didn't work out the way he wanted to. Drove all the way here from Michigan to Cleveland for the game, and long ride home back last night. I know I'll see him today, but I know that was a long ride home for him.
I mean, speaking of Cleveland, and I'm not harping on anybody. But you know what the best thing to do in Ohio is?
Oh boy, what? Because you started a little shit on social media last week with a very good friend of ours who felt attacked when you called it Cedar Park or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. But yeah, the number one thing to do in Ohio is leave.
And that's what my boy Josh did on his way home last night. But what about the Yanks, Fred? Drop the series against the Giants. Is there? I know it's early. I know you say there's 182 games. Like, is there a cause for concern?
Well, there was always a cause for concern at the beginning of the season. Me, Jackson Spikes, we always commiserate.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I was not happy at the beginning of this year. I was not excited. When you lose your 3 of your 5 starting pitchers, how do you get excited for that? We have guys that are pitching now that aren't going to be pitching in at the end of the year, like starters. So that's tough. Our ace goes with Tommy John surgery. Not going to see him until like next June. And then our number 3 and 4 guy are out. So our 3 guy is coming back next week.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
This week. He pitches this week. Clark Schmidt. So that's our number 3 guy. Our number 4 guy, who can also be a 3, he comes back probably end of May. And they haven't started on the roster. So it's tough to like start the season like that. Now, right. when they both are back, yeah, you're without Cole, which it's not okay, but that's our ace. But you're without Cole, but you still have your other 4 starters.
Okay, so your thought is if we could bring these 2 starting pitchers back, you're going to see a big change come June for the Yankees?
Yeah. If they can hold on and play decent baseball until you have these guys back, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, it sucks. It would be great to have Cole, but that's a dude who plays every 5 days. So right. So I think I'm okay with that. It's the problem of getting to that point. We have to get through April, and we're getting Clark Schmidt back. So that's better. But dude, you should hear how me and Jackson Spikes talk off air.
What are the chances? Now I know that, well, maybe it might be June-ish. But what are the chances that we get Jackson Spikes on the pod? Because obviously he's at school right now, but who gives a shit about school? He's an athlete.
No. And
get him on in class. Should we wait till the summer and start talking Yanks with him and bring him on once in a while?
Definitely. He may be here over Easter break. So I have to see about that. Because that's when his spring break is, and I don't think he's going away and stuff like that. So he may be down here for that. But yeah,
going away. He's gonna be traveling to the shore. That's his spring break. You know how he loves the shore.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of baseball stuff going on for club and shit like that. So I don't know. But yes, he will be down in the summer. We're like 50 days away from MDW. So we're already getting primed up for that.
I actually used MDW the other day because I remember you saying to me yesterday, and for the folks who don't know what that means, that acronym, that's Memorial Day weekend. That's how Fred and last year or the year before he hits me with the MDW, and I'm like, I feel like I should know that, which I should have. But yeah. People were throwing off when I throw that around. So, feel free to quote Fred when you do that. If you're, referring to Memorial Day weekend, you shorten that up with the MDW.
Yes.
So, because there's a lot of people that are asking me, well, who is Jackson Spikes, right? And I don't want to talk about him without him making a cameo. Like I want him to come in and
we'll definitely set something up like that.
Diehard Yanks fan, big Duke guy, still upset. Poor kid had a rough go at it with the Yanks losing and Duke losing.
Yeah, he's pretty upset about the Duke thing, but he's getting over it.
He's not going to cry on the pod though, would he? If we bring up old shit?
No.
Okay. No. All right. Speaking of that, I wanted to bring this up, and I want your opinion on this. So I'm going to Boston in August for one of my fraternity brothers' wedding. Okay. Beginning of August, and it might get killed, my plan, but what my plan was, on that Sunday, Boston has a home game, the Red Sox. And anybody who's anybody or loves baseball knows that that's a place that you would want to go see. Just for one, even like I told Sarah, who's not a baseball fan, like, hey, this is like one of those things you just have to do to go check out. And if I get the opportunity to go on that Sunday, my question to you, Fred, take the Yankees hat off, not that you have one on right now, but like it, not hypothetically, take the Yankees hat off as a Yankees fan, because I know how you feel about Boston. What should I wear to the game?
Maybe
Do
a
I
fuck
buy
Boston
a
hat.
Boston Red Sox hat? Do I be the schmo who wears the Detroit hat? Or do I just like don't wear anything baseball related and just go as a fan? Like, what's your take on that? Again, Fred, I'm asking you to do something you have a hard time doing, is take the Yankees fan out of it and be a baseball fan.
Listen, I've been there. I've been to Fenway, been there for Yankee series a couple times. Now, I would love to go to see a Red Sox game that the Yankees weren't playing, and I would probably still wear my Yankee hat. But like, as for you, you're a baseball fan, so I mean, if you wore the D in there, people probably wouldn't know what that was anyway. So they probably think it was like a high school out in Massachusetts or something. So
such a dick.
So that's for sure. But or you can go get the fuck Boston hat, which I think would go well in there. I mean, there, I feel very, you know how I feel about Boston.
Yeah, I do. I definitely know you're strong opinion.
There's only 3 things I like from Boston.
Tell me.
Boston cream, Boston baked beans, and Donna Summer.
Okay. So wear whatever I want. I would never wear a fuck Boston shirt. I would never wear anything like that ever.
But don't be the tool bag that goes and gets a Boston Red Sox hat. Don't do that.
Honestly, Fred, that was just my only question, right? Like, do you be that guy, or is it the guy who wears the Detroit Tigers hat? But and like everybody will know what the fuck I'm wearing.
I wanted to get when I was there once, I wanted to get like a Fenway shirt, kind of.
Yeah, and you're not necessarily like rooting on the Sox, but you're immersed in the experience type thing.
So, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
I get it. I don't like that would be the equivalent of me going to Lambeau, which I plan on doing for the first time ever this year with my boy Scott Koski. Shout out Scott. We made a pact. He's a Packers fan, although lives in Michigan, like in the UP, but I guess I don't think that really is considered Michigan. That's Wisconsin. Yeah. So we made a pact that I'm going to Lambeau this year, and hopefully it's early in the season, so I don't have to go out there like a hillbilly and cover up with like snowsuit. But that would be like me going to Green Bay wearing a Green Bay Packers hat. Like I would never do that in a million years. I would wear nothing sports related. I could never own anything Packers. It would be disgusting.
I mean, I don't have the hatred that you do, obviously, for the Pack, but I'm not going to Lambeau and getting a cheesehead. I'm not doing it. Like, I'd probably wear my Steeler hat there. Like I said, I would wear my Yankee hat there. I don't care.
Wear that gay ass like shredder that Detroit Lions fan, which I think is so.
Oh my God. The cheese shredder.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Grow up.
Stop it now.
We didn't announce. I wanted to announce it first, but and I'm going to kind of let you do this because this is your baby, which you shared with me yesterday. That I'm super excited for, and I want you to explain the rules. What we did, we started a pool on ESPN, okay, and we are going to do a contest for the NHL and the NBA playoffs, which I'm super excited about for a couple reasons. Number one, obviously, I'm going to follow the NBA, but I think this is going to get me a little more involved in the NHL. And Fred, I'm almost positive that you did this just for this fact, is you wanted me to talk a little bit more hockey. So I'm excited. Fred, take it away. Explain the rules. Tell them how to get in. It's free to get in, but you gotta jump some hoops. And there's a prize at the end. So tell everybody about what we're doing here on ESPN and how we can how to get involved.
Open to the public. It's all free entry. NBA, the bracket challenge, the NHL bracket challenge. Search groups. Your agent Brad with spaces. That would be the group you can join. It's public to join. Anyone can join. The thing is, I will be giving out $100 gift card. to the winner. But the winner must subscribe to the page. Your agent Brad, YouTube, right?
Yep. The Patrick. Yeah, I believe it's
and follow us on socials. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Spotify. You have to follow us on Spotify in order to win. Like you could sneak in. You could sneak in, but you're not getting that hundy.
No. So I have follow TGI Freddy on Insta. I'm not on X, but follow Brad on the socials and subscribe to whatever socials he has. And then like I said, it's free. So, I mean, and I did put a restriction on it. You can only enter one bracket a piece.
Okay, cool. Good.
Just to make it easier. I don't need
9 brackets.
Yeah. And I think actually with ESPN, you can only allow 2.
Yeah, I did see that last night.
So I'm just like, it's all good. So yeah. So get out there, get to ESPN, hit the fantasy button, go to search groups. There's a create groups and a search groups. Go to the search groups, your agent Brad, you'll find the group, you can join the group, and then, we'll go on from there and then we'll update and talk about it. It's not gonna, the brackets won't lock in. You fill out your bracket now, but the NBA. Well, you could actually fill it out with it's, but then you could change it up until, the first round actually begins.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. So this has got to be done soon, right? This week. It's got to be done this week in order to get in, because obviously NBA, NHL is starting. And with that being said, let's talk about a little bit about the NBA. Obviously, first and foremost, which is the Pistons-Knicks series. I'm excited. I'm excited to finally be back in the playoffs. Right, I'm loving this little wave of sports we're going through. With whether it's the March Madness, then it's the Masters. Now the Pistons are in it. Tigers are doing good. And Fred, you and I were talking. We kind of like the matchup. We gave the Knicks a little bit of a beatdown on Thursday.
They were without 3 guys, 2 starters and a bench guy. But
right. And so I like the matchup. I do think we now would have a better opportunity to go to the second round of the playoffs, which I'm excited about. What's your thought of the NBA playoffs? Like I got a ton of notes on it. I know we're already running long, but let's talk NBA.
I think that it looks like look in the East. Let's start with the East. So in the East, I don't see anyone any favorite losing in the first. I think the top 4. I don't think that I don't think that the Pistons get swept, and I don't think that the Bucks get swept either. Any of them, but I do think that it's going to be Cleveland, Boston, New York, and the Pacers. Now,
wait, hold up! You got us losing in the first round?
Yeah, I told you that a long time ago. 100. I don't think they're getting swept at all.
That was your caveat. We're just not going to look like dickheads.
And it's maybe a gentleman's sweep, but it's still a great year for the Pistons. It's an amazing 100%. Year for the Pistons. 100%. So, but I do think in the East it goes with now. Unless Giannis goes crazy, the Pacers win that series. But I do see that it's going to end up with Cleveland and Boston in the East Finals, and Boston wins that. It in the West is like it's crazy out there.
Any team.
Now, I mean, it would be cool to see the Lakers move along for the sport.
Why? Is that like the equivalent of Rory hitting the winning the Grand Slam? Like, why would it be cool?
I think it's equivalent to like the Celtics in the playoffs ish. I'm not a Celtic guy. I hate Boston. You know that. Right. But like I think that for television and stuff like that, people like to watch the Lakers. I mean, do you want to watch the Houston Rockets? I mean,
no, but I'll tell you who I do want to see. I want to see OKC. I want to see SGA do something that who is arguably probably the MVP of the league, who has zero media coverage at all. The most underrated MVP if he does win it. I would like to see that, but I get what you're saying. I get the storyline, but you know me, I'm a Jordan guy, man. I don't want to see LeBron win another one.
Well, I don't think that he will. I think Celtics win the championship this year, to be honest. But I think OKC goes to the finals.
If you guys jump in the tournament, in the bracket challenge for the NBA, you are going to see my upset pick is going to be that my boy Ant-Man's going to take down the Lakers in the first round.
I wouldn't be surprised at anything in the West.
Right.
It's crazy.
I love Anthony Edwards.
Except, so like, I just feel like Golden State and Minnesota or Memphis. I'm sorry, Golden State and Memphis. Whoever's in 7-8 right now is going to end up the 7-8. And I feel like there's no guarantees in that whole series of 1 through 8.
100%. And we got the. Wait, who does Denver play? I think I screwed up. I did. I screwed up my notes. I have LA on there twice. I don't know who Denver plays, but I know Minnesota plays the LA. But Denver is looking good too, man. Jokic, the Joker's looking good. So I'm with you, man. Any team can come out of the West.
They
and
play
nobody's gonna be like,
Denver plays the Clip, I think.
All right. So who's your prediction that comes out of the play-in games? Miami, Chicago, Atlanta, Orlando in the East. What's your thought there?
I like the it's Atlanta, Orlando, and Miami, Chicago. Correct?
Orlando.
It's Atlanta
Miami,
at Orlando.
Chicago. Yeah.
I like Orlando and Chicago. I think they win. Yeah. I mean, I think Orlando and Chicago. Those games mean absolutely nothing to me in the East, just because they mean nothing. In the West, those 7, 8, 9, 10 games, they'll be interesting in the first round because, like I said, it's probably going to end up with Golden State and Memphis as the 7, 8.
Golden State plays Memphis.
Yeah, and then the loser of that will play the winner. Right. So I think it's going to end up with Golden State, Memphis, and I think that I don't want to play Steph Curry in the first.
No,
I don't want to play Memphis.
Guy though, I'm a Steph guy, but I don't.
Yeah,
if I don't want. If I was the Pistons had to play him, I don't want that. But
yeah,
we got to wrap up soon because I'm dying over here. I didn't even realize I'm running low, but we went long today. We had 52 minutes, Fred.
Okay.
So yeah, NBA, get signed up, get hooked up. Real quick, did you see Kalamazoo was burning this weekend?
Western. Shout out to Western.
Shout out to Western for sure.
Shout out to Western. Just shows you that these little schools, these little cute little schools,
nice little safety school over there in Kalamazoo.
Okay. I think it's like a safety school.
Fair enough.
It's very, so it just shows you that the Schoolcrafts of the world, they can do it too.
They can do it too. Shout out to I have a lot of friends, lot of alumni friends from Western. So shout out to the Broncos. Congratulations on the National Hockey National Championship.
Yeah.
All right, Fred, let's get this wrapped up. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I'm just glad your friends didn't end up at Schoolcraft.
100%. Yeah. And on that note, I hope everybody has a great week. Fred, I'll talk to you next week. Take care, bro. Love the hat, brother.
All right, check it out. NBA Challenge, NHL Challenge. Get in there.
All right, we'll drop the links in the comments. Take care, y'all.